Hello everyone. Today we learn about conditions in Python. So conditions in Python makes us able to make decisions based on certain conditions or events. So let's try to create an if condition inside of our code. So let's say we have number equals 6. Now we want to check if this number is greater than 5 or not. So what we do is we use the if condition. Then we check the if condition for if number greater than, so we have the greater than sign, which is the forward open angle brackets. So we have if number greater than 5. We want to print greater than 5. So here we want to check else. So if number is not greater than 5, we just want to print less than 5. So let's say print less than 5. So now what's happening here is, here we have an if condition. So we are checking and trying to perform an action based on the condition. So here is the condition that we're actually checking, the expression, which is the Boolean expression that we have here. So here we are checking if the number is greater than 5. So this condition, this expression here will return true if the value of this number here, which is 6, is greater than 5, then to return true. Otherwise, the response of this expression will be false. So now when the response of this expression is true, then whatever is inside of this block, as you can see, it's indented by 4 spaces. So it's like it has a tab somewhere around here. So everything that is under this place that falls under this block will be run. Like it will just automatically continue that block of code if this returns true. But if it returns false, it will skip everything that comes inside of this place and come back to this else function, this else condition. Then it's now begin to run this one star here. So now when I run my code, let's say Python 3, then we have conditions dot py. Now you can see greater than 5. But when I put something like 3 and I run my code again, we have less than 5. So let's now see if we can actually use multiple conditions. Like let's say if number is 0, if number is more than. So let's do something like this. Let's say if number greater than 10. So if number greater than 10, we print greater than 10. Now we will use the elif here. So let's say elif. Now when I run my code again, still have the same thing, less than 5. Well, let's say what happens when I use 11 in this case. Now you can see we have greater than 10. If I set it to 9 or 8, we have greater than 5. And this works fine. So we can see we use the elif when we have another condition that comes after the first condition. So here we have two conditions. We have if greater than 10, and we have if greater than 5. So we have two conditions there, but we want this to run only after this one fails. But if we want the two to run at the same time, like even regardless of the response of this if condition, we want this one to run also. Then we just want to use the normal if in this case. That means this should print greater than 10 and then greater than 5 also. So here you can see here, when I run my code again, let me use 11. So when I run my code now, you can see greater than 10, greater than 5. So it printed these two values because regardless of this if condition, this one will be run because it does not contain an else. But when I use the else here, it's automatically linked to the previous condition here. So let's say el and elif. So that means it will be linked to this if condition, and it will only run when this one fails, when the first condition fails. Now we can begin to apply this in instances like, let's say time of the day. Time of the day equals, let's say for a string we have afternoon, or let's say noon. Now we want to check we want to have a condition, like a series of conditions. If the time of the day is morning, have breakfast. If the time of the day is noon, have lunch. If it's evening, have dinner, and then if it's night, just, or if any other time, just maybe have a snack. So let's see how we can actually implement that using this. So let's say if time of the day equals equals, so this is equals is like a comparison between two values. Return true if they're the same thing, return false if it's not. So in this case, let's say if it equals morning, then we want to print. Here we have breakfast. Now when I run my code for this conditions.py again, as you can see, we have nothing because the time is actually noon and not morning. Now when I set this to morning, when I run this again, we have breakfast. But now we want to also check else, so we use the elif here. Elif time of the day equals noon. Now we use print take lunch. Now when we set it to noon now, to show take lunch. So let me say noon, and I run my code now, take lunch. Now let's check for evening also. So let's say if. So the elif is just like basically saying else, then if again. So elif, that's the short form of that. So let's say elif time of the day equals night or evening. Let's say evening. Print eats dinner. So now if it's not morning, if it's not noon, and if it's not evening, let's say somewhere in between, we just want to say like have a snack or something. So let's say else, because we don't need any more condition for this one. So let's say else, and then print have a snack. And now when I run my code for this, we have take lunch. When I say evening, eats dinner. And when I say something else like let's say mid day or anything else, it will just say have a snack. So we can actually change this to an input function. So let me say input time of the day. Now this would be like handed to the user, so we can actually use the user's response to determine it. So let's say noon, we have take lunch, morning, breakfast, and then let's say midday, have a snack. So we can use a condition to determine what to do inside of our code. So also we also have one more type of like expression in this case. So let's say we have the equals like comparison to check if something is equals to something. We have greater than, we have less than, but we also have the not equals, right? So it's only returned true when the two values are not the same. So let's try to find out how that also works. So let's say if let's create a variable, let's say data equals 9, and then we let's say if data does not equals to, so this exclamation mark and the equals, like pound equals, is like does not equals to. So like it's saying that if both numbers are not the same, so it's only return true if what's on the left and what's on the right are not the same thing. So that means this expression will return true as of now because data is 9 and then the second value is 7 here. So we have data as 9 and the second value as 7. So now when I enter and let's say print values are different. So now when I run my code, after entering the time of day to be noon, you can see your values are different. But now when I set this value here to 7, in this case, time of the day, night, have a snack, but here you can see it didn't show values are different because the values are actually the same. So that's all about conditions.